How is everything? How are you kind of preparing the players for what is might be a nervy night, might not be a nervy night? How do you get that kind of nervousness out of the system so you can get there if you can?
Now, I was going to try and do what we've done all season, which is play good football, start on the front foot, take the game to Hamilton, try to get an early goal, calm everyone down. If it doesn't come, we need to be patient, stay focused in the game, shut out the noise. We've been top of the league all season. We've dealt with that up until these stages, but we're very, very confident that we can finish the job. We've got loads of belief in the players. We've got a lot of belief in themselves. We've trained very well this week. Our planning and preparation has been very, very good. And so all it really leaves for us to go out there tomorrow night and, finish the job, which is what we're determined to do.
It's obviously that few late blows in recent weeks. Obviously, have you seen the players respond well to that, react well to that, not be rocked by that? The confidence is intact.
Yeah, training's been really, really good. Yeah, I mean, we haven't played badly in any of these games. We've just maybe not killed teams off and been hit with sucker punches. So obviously, these are things that sucker punches are something we need to cut them out, and it's just a matter of concentration, staying focused, good, picking good options. If you've got to defend, you've got to defend aggressively within control. And at the top end of the pitch, showing a little bit more composure. There's chances that we have been having, maybe no taken, and that's allowed teams to stay in games when maybe we should have killed them off. By half time at Firhill last Friday night, we probably should be 2 or 3-1 ahead, and it came back to bite us late in the game. So believing in ourselves that we've had all season, we've been there, we've been up there. Our football's been entertaining. We've got a huge crowd to back us tomorrow night. We're at home. As much as I hate saying it, because I've heard everyone saying it and it kind of like still gets on my nerves, it's still very, very true that if we had an opportunity, one game at home, the last game of the season, to get to the Premiership, then, we probably would have bitten your hand off. So that is the truth. That is it. As much as I'm sick hearing it, it is the truth. So that's what we want to try and achieve tomorrow night.
John, are you relying on your more experienced players this week when you're going into this game and everything that's at stake? It's really high, obviously really high stakes, and the fact that it could have been done a few weeks ago. Do you need to rely on those guys to keep the other players calm? And
we've got a great dressing room. We have an amazing dressing room. Obviously, Scotty's the most experienced player. He came in sort of the last day of the transfer window, so he's basically February. So he's been here a few months. He is a big character. He is a big voice in the dressing room. But Cole Donaldson's had an operation yesterday. He'll be back for the game tomorrow. Not to obviously play. He'll be maybe back for pre-season if he's lucky. But as a character, Brad's been immense. Brad Spencer's been absolutely immense. But we've got a good dressing room. The spirit in our camp is the reason why we are where we are. We've picked up loads of points because of the team spirit. We all know that we've maybe let ourselves down recently, and we want to make amends for that tomorrow night. So I think everyone in the dressing room has got to be big characters, not just the experience. We've not got say bringing Scotty in at 36. He was our most experienced player, and obviously the level that he's been playing at over a number of years, he's got so much experience at these levels. But then after that, we're Cole just turned 30 and Brad's, 28-ish type thing. So we've not got loads and loads of experience. We're quite youngish, not young, but youngish. So it's for everyone. It's for everyone to step up. We're very much a team. It's a team effort, and so that's what will get us through.
yeah, I know you're totally focused on in the game, but it's just as a wee sidebar. Of course, you're nominated for the PFA Manager of the Year alongside David Gray and Brendan Rodgers. Do those kind of individual awards mean more to you because they're voted for by your fellow managers who know exactly how you're feeling in the job that you're in?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always nice to be nominated by your fellow managers, your peers. Absolutely. Managed to win it last year. In great company this year in Brendan and David Gray. Brendan's on on his way to a treble. I don't think too many would argue with that. David Gray, he's carried out an amazing job there at Hibs from the way that they started, and I thought the way that he spoke all the way through that, taking responsibility, no saying it wasn't good enough, blah blah blah, but turning it around into a 17-game unbeaten run is amazing. So fair play to David as well. I'm just delighted to be in that company. It's all thanks to all our players here at Falkirk that we get nominated for these individual awards, but it's certainly been a team effort. All the backroom staff here as well, I can't thank them enough. Paul Smith as well, assistant manager, everyone behind the scenes that pulling together to have the team where we are right now.
Confident you can do the back-to-back?
We are confident, yeah, we are confident. As I said earlier there, if we were asked to be in this position, we would have taken it. A few weeks ago, we probably would have thought we wouldn't be in this situation, but we are, and that's now the last throw of the dice with regards to staying away for the playoffs, which is a trapdoor. So we want to make sure we are confident. We are confident. We've, I think over the course and distance, I think we've showed how good we are. We just got to go one more time.
John, in terms of, you mentioned earlier about blocking out the noise, it's human nature of the boys. You've got people thinking, are Falkirk going to do it? Are they not going to do it? It must be quite hard for some of the players, especially young ones, to block that out.
No doubt, but we've done our best. We've done our best to do it. When you get in here tomorrow night, 7,500, of which probably about 7,000 will be our fans, all wanting the same thing. So they will back us 1,000,000%, but there'll be a little bit of anxiety in there as well. So we've got to try and get a good start in the game to calm them down, which again will be able to perhaps calm the players down. A good start in the game, getting a grip of the game. Of course, you can't guarantee anything. Anything can happen in a football match, but we can try our utmost to stay as calm as we possibly can be. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there will be nerves. There's absolutely no doubt, because it would be abnormal not to under the circumstances. But I don't see that as a bad thing. I honestly don't. There's always the uncertainty. You just never ever know what's going to happen in a football match. And whether it be this game or the first game of next season or the first game of this particular season, that's still the same. Obviously, there's a lot at stake. But we've got a performance in us that we can take us to the Premiership.
Just how, sorry, John, I'm just going to say how much is you mentioned about giving the crowd something to kind of settle the nerves, because I imagine they'll be hitting refresh on BBC Sport every 2 minutes for the Livy score. So how much do you just need the crowd to kind of focus on the game in front of you and not kind of seep that anxiety down onto the pitch?
Yeah. We're trying not to let distractions, do exactly that, distract us from the job that we've got to do. It is difficult, as you say, because everyone's now, the game's on the iPlayer, BBC iPlayer as well, the Livingston game, so it'd be very easy to be watching that and watching our game virtually at the same time. So I'm no doubt that will transfer onto the pitch with regards to if someone scored, you generally get it in the way. I mean, all you guys are at games, you understand that. It's not necessarily, I'll not be looking for it, but you'll get a feeling of it. But we've just got to stay focused very much. We've got to total, concentration on our game. We've got to, if we do what we're, planning to do, then nothing else matters. Get 3 points, job done.
How pleasing is it to have Alfie available? That must have been a nice boost as well, even if it was probably expected that you would have him available.
Yeah, it's a massive boost for the boy. He was this, he was in bits really at the end of the game. It was a shame for him. He fully was convinced that it wasn't a red card, and fair play to the referee. In his report, he's admitted that it wasn't a red card either. In reflection, he said in reflection, so. Yeah, it is what it is. If we manage to stay with 11 players for another 7 minutes, you never know. Plus the injury time, 13 minutes. That's a long time. Parting might just have buckled, and we might have got a goal, in the last minute, and it might have been us scoring in the last minute, and the job would have been done. But as it is, we're glad to have him back. It's good to have him available. But it's the second time this season that we've had a player sent off and has been rescinded, and it's been a wrongful dismissal. So it's kind of like bit us twice.
And just in general, how is the squad looking? Are you going in with kind of the same that you had for Thistle? I suppose this is one of the biggest team selections you've had in terms of needing to get it right.
Yeah, Strong's been squad. I mean, we've only really called Donaldson, who I mentioned, as an operation. Everyone is fit. We've got a strong squad. We've had a strong squad for a good number of weeks now. We can handle, Sean Mackey's going to be back available for selection as well from his suspension. So, yeah, we've got a very strong squad and trained very well, really well. Looking forward to the game. Yeah, so 7:45 out there, do the magic and hopefully celebrating come 10ish.
Only one more. I know what your answer will be anyway, John, but obviously Hamilton Accies have got this whole appeal thing going over them, which could completely change the course of how they approach the game. Is that something you've just kind of parked to one side and not bothered about, or are you going to keep an eye and see what comes out? Obviously, that's going to play a big difference on what Accies turn up.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it from this point of view that I'm very, very sympathetic to John Rank and all his players, the staff there, the backroom staff, and others there who are probably been doing an amazing job, a great job, maybe under difficult circumstances. I don't know all the ins and outs of what's going on. I don't know hardly anything going on at Hamilton. But I'm really, really sympathetic towards them and their fans. I mean, I was listening to Radio Clyde about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, when this news broke, and there was Hamilton fans coming on almost crying because the 15-point deduction and thinking about going to League One and how difficult it can be to get back and how frustrated and annoying they were to be in that position and how this could happen. So I have the greatest sympathy for everyone there. I know some of the players. I've worked with some of the players. They're all good lads. They're all good professionals. So I have loads of sympathy. But at the same time, I'm sure they realise that we've only really focused on doing our job. We've got so much at stake for us that can't really get involved in the Hamilton scenario. So that's it for me, unfortunately.